Good evening. Welcome to your Ass Hurts News Network. Coming to you live from the tip top of Cock Tower Square with your host, Sergeant Friday. Sarge, how you doing?
Well, Cletus, I am doing awesome. Fantastic, beautiful, love life. How about you?
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, oh, so we got Carl and CL in here, or CI, or I don't know. It's got a pretty fucked up name, whoever that is, because it's an L or an I. I think it's an L, but anyway.
It's an
Yeah, yeah. So I hear. How was the recovery report for the Queen of Moderation?
Hello?
What?
He asked you a question. What's the recovery report?
He wasn't asking me, he was asking you.
Oh, well, you're sitting here, so you can answer.
Fine.
And there you have it, folks. The most complex and thorough answer you will ever hear. What was that again there, help desk?
Fine.
There you go, folks. You heard it again. Right to the point. No bullshit.
She has 78 degrees of bend in the mid joint of her finger. So
I don't know what that means. What do we
well,
all
like if you stick your finger up and you bend your knuckle, the first knuckle up on your finger, see how far down you can bend it, right? Straight out or a right angle would be 90 degrees. She can bend it at 78.
So she's not quite there yet, in other words.
Not quite there.
Well, maybe she'll end up being an 80s kid. Nothing wrong with that.
We did see my screws.
Yeah, we did get to see the screws in her finger. That was interesting.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we saw the x-ray. She's
got
one
stay in there for good?
Yeah, one's short and the other one goes all the way through and sticks out into the skin. I was like, I bet that shit's painful.
Damn, is it?
She says it's not.
When I touch it, it hurts.
Yeah, why don't they put a shorter, come on now. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. The 7 P's and the secret of life. They put a screw in that's too long?
To me, I mean, I wouldn't have accepted it, but, I wouldn't necessarily have them cut my finger back open to grind that bitch down either.
I'd be like, come on now. Yeah. And your bone grows around it. So you're right. You're going to have to grind it down. You guys got a Dremel, right? That's all you need.
I'm telling you.
Unfucking believable.
A little icy hot on the side, and we'll stick the Dremel in there. We'll be good.
Done. Yeah, that'll grind away pretty fucking quick. I mean,
Can't hurt any worse than waking up and feeling them doing that shit, so.
Oh, yeah?
78%, I guess, considering it had no movement before, you're on the mend. And before you know it, who knows? You might be able to bend at fucking 360 degrees.
You just never know.
It could be a circus freak. Look at my finger. My finger hurts. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. If I had a cricket in my house, once every year or so, I get a fucking cricket in my house. Drives me crazy. But I'm getting good at hunting them now.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can send some tips and tricks to Lana about her smoke detector.
You got that shit going on, that fucking Lana. Come on, bitch, get that shit fixed. All that money you're getting paid on that stream and all them followers, you can't afford to fix that noise. Come on now. It's fucking crazy. The Idaho 4 is still going strong. And tonight I named the stream. Do you think out of the box? And I wonder if people have any clue just how big that box is. Her detector is fixed. Look at that. Someone fixed her detector. But Cletus, look at that. Breaking news.
Look at there. You willed it to happen. You willed it to happen. So.
Breaking news. Lana figured out her most annoying fucking aspect is the beep of the annoyance has been fixed. Well, that's good. I'm proud of her. I mean, that's fantastic. I got nothing to say about the noise anymore. Man, now I go in there and maybe listen to a stream once in a while.
There you go.
Because but anyway, the cricket was. I noticed them last night. And that cricket, they're hard to find. You do know that, right?
Yeah, they are. They can be a royal pain in the ass.
Out with a lizard.
Man,
You just need to get you a lizard.
a lizard.
Yeah, a bearded dragon. They'll eat them.
I ain't fucking getting no bearded dragon.
No.
I grabbed him with a a small water glass. I don't know how you call it, and a piece of cardboard. Put the glass over him, slid the cardboard in, and walked and put it back outside.
Well, there you go.
I spared this one. One of them I stomped. The idiot was hopping across the floor, and I targeted him with my fucking sandal and got his ass. Not that I wanted to kill him, but I took the opportunity. I guess I'm a murderer now.
You're a murderer of a cricket?
I'm a murderer now. I killed a cricket.
Uh-oh.
That's bad.
Jiminy Cricket is dead. Was the witness against me in court, and I'm in trouble.
Well, it ain't the first time. Probably won't be the last. So,
Well, the funny thing is I do give this. I think that here's why I didn't kill this cricket. When I was trying to sleep last night, started making noise. I kicked my mattress. I lifted up my leg and kicked my mattress real hard, and it quieted down. Right. Yeah. And it chirped again, and I kicked the mattress again, and it shut up for the rest of the night. I was like, maybe this guy will make a good roommate. I don't know. Today I was taking my nap, same thing. Okay, I would clap as I got this thing started shut. I clapped my hands, it hesitated, it did it again. I clapped my hands and it shut up. And it stayed shut up, it's best to my knowledge, until I had woke up. And then about an hour ago, it started making noise again. So I tracked him down and gave him his freedom.
You should name it Clue. It sounds like it responds and behaves just like she does.
Finger noises.
She gets out of line, you clap your hands, and she shuts up.
Does she say she's happy and she knows it? If you're happy and you know it, clap your ass. Well, listen, I got a couple of jokes. You're gonna hear the same one again, but I'm gonna start out with a couple of jokes, folks. I think these jokes are pretty fucked up, but they're funny. Does anybody in the chat room, all 37 of you, do any of you know why black people don't go on cruise ships?
They're afraid of boats.
Because they were fooled by that shit once. They ain't going again. Okay. Here's another one. You ready? You ready, Cletus? You're gonna like this one, Cletus.
All right.
What's the difference between a hooker and a drug dealer?
What?
A hooker can wash that crack and sell it again.
Wow. And there you have it.
And how many policemen does it take to put in a light bulb?
How many?
None. They just beat the blackness to death.
Damn, Sarge.
Yep. I was on a roll. That's it, though. This is my 3 new jokes. And I'm sticking to it.
Well, there you go. Hey, rock and roll.
Fucking A. You heard about the fucking Italian tire, right?
I think I know where you're going with this.
I
but
think
go ahead.
you do. They go through rain and they go through snow. And when they go flat, they go wop, wop, wop.
Oh, shit. That's funny.
It's called it's the Guinea tire, made in Italy. Difference between a rooster and a lady. What is the difference between a rooster and a lady, Carl? We gotta wait for the chat to respond. There's a delay. I think people's thumbs get tired after a full day of fucking texting nonsense back and forth to each other. All in an attempt to think out of the box. We're waiting, Carl, that you added your 2 cents. There, we'll put it up on the screen. Does that feel? There you go. There's between a rooster and a lady. What do you think there? One has a dick, the other don't? I don't know. What is it, Cletus?
I don't know. I really have no idea.
They both got some big ass mouths. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, so yeah.
There is a
Yeah.
delay, and Carl maybe.
Boy, is there a delay? I think he forgot his own punchline, or he just might have asked a question he wanted an answer to.
He might have. Maybe we should Google
Maybe he's got the chance to date a rooster or a lady.
it.
We don't give fucking dating advice on here because I'm clearly not the expert of that.
Oh fuck.
Oh, a woman says a rooster says cock-a-doodle do, and a woman says any cock will do.
Ah.
Well, you better know your pronouns. Fucking A. There's only 63 genders, and they're all fucking perverted sexual positions. That's the best part about the gendering. Are you aware of that? Of all them fucking wide range of genders, 67, it's all about sexual position, sexual activity, sexual fucking choices, sexual perversions. Those are now genders. That's what disturbs me about all of that yakking with kids, right?
Yeah.
I don't need to know your position. I don't need to know what the fuck kind of shit you like. That ain't, that's what I mean. And I don't want to address you based on that. Your sex.
Right.
I mean, when people just think they're sex toys or something, most of them they'd be the toy that never got, but you'd open the box and play with the box. Those are these. A lot of these people don't get it, that the box would be more fun than them. Oh, it's a fucking mess.
You'd empty the box out and hide in that bed.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you open a toy like that, your first thought is Santa hates me or my mommy don't love me. One or the other, bro. Get this fucking thing out of here. I'll keep the box though. Why do you want the box, honey? So I can hide my fucking head in shame within it. My fucking God, the world we live in.
It's something. It is something.
And I get a kick out of all these people thinking out of the box. There's now a person out there with 3 shooters at the Trump rally. And here's all I want to know is, look, I just want to know how 3 snipers missed. If somebody can explain that to me, then I'm down with 2, 3, 4, 5. Just give me a reason. Give me a solid understanding of how 3 shooters or snipers missed Donald Trump. That, if you can come up with that, then I'll listen to any fucking theory of multiple shooters you can ever dream of. But I don't know how 3 shooters can miss one fucking target. What about you, Cletus?
Yeah, I don't know. The one I heard today wasn't even about the shooter's location, but about the sniper's location that shot him.
Okay.
It was that it wasn't one of the snipers. It was a drone
From the grassy knoll behind the water tank
that shot Crooks.
Dude, I'm gonna change my name to Lulu.
I was like, well, and then apparently this originated from some congressman. I'm like,
oh yeah, somebody that talked to a trained fucking sniper that's retired.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The story was yourself.
The story was apparently this person went up on the roof, took the position that Crooks was in, and determined that there's no way one of the snipers on that roof behind Trump could have shot him. Right. And okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm glad you were there to put yourself in the shoes of the shooter. That's a wonderful thing. And your expertise is fucking unparalleled by anyone else in the known fucking universe. As a matter of fact, if you believe in God, he's yet to create anybody surpass your fucking deductive skills. So, maybe he should go to the broken down Koberger fucking crime scene and walk around the grounds there and tell us what happened.
Yeah, it might solve the case, or at least come up with some new fucking theory that nobody else has thought of, if that's even possible.
Right. There was 12 Gauge had a decent stream earlier. For people that don't know, you guys know who 12 Gauge is, right? My buddy Cletus, you keep saying he looks like Mr. Potato Head, and I can't not watch the stream and see that now. It's just wrong. I don't know why you would.
No, that was You're gonna
Why
put
the
that
fuck
shit
would you
on
even
me,
go there?
okay?
Put that shit in people's heads. Now you can't get it out.
Oh, you dirty bastard! I'm not the one that put that in your
Yeah,
head. You put that
okay,
in
yeah.
mine.
Listen to this guy running like his ass is on fire. He got caught. All right.
Did I? I may have.
Well, I don't mind snitching. I snitch on myself all the time.
I may
Usually
have
it's
come up
to
with
myself,
that.
which is. Excuse me.
I said I may have come up with that. I doubt it, but I may have. I'm
See?
not the one that reminded you of it today, though. It sounds like something I would say for sure.
See?
I just thought that was something from you.
Well, originally I'm not sure where it came from, and I highly suspect it wouldn't be anything I would think of. Matter of fact, I think I pointed it out to him in a stream one night. He was a bit disturbed over the whole thing. Don't you remember when he was in here?
Yeah.
And I was like, Cletus, I got to say it. I can't help myself. He was on panel, maybe even. Oh, he's a good man, though. He definitely is a very good man.
Yeah, I like 12 gauge.
So let's see. I watched Gage. I watched him a little bit today. I jump into people's streams. They don't know I'm even there. I hit like, even if I don't like what they're talking about. As long as I'm cool with them and they're cool back with me, that's fine. I jump into clues more than she realizes, even though I don't sit in there for the stream. I do listen to some of it, and I jump back and forth, and then off I go into La La Land, or I go swimming, or I go jump in the car, or something.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. So today I had a meeting with that guy with that big job.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he's got another job. Well, the other job is 20 grand. Not quite, but close enough. And he's all besides himself. He can't believe it. I said, well, don't blame me. Blame the state of New York for telling you that these are the ways you have to do it. They're telling me how to do my job. Therefore, the way they're telling me that I have to do my job, this is the price. I didn't fucking make it up. So I'm waiting to see now if he's gonna, he couldn't answer my question today. I was like, well, what do you mean? You're either giving me this roof or you're not. What are you doing? Well, you got a what? You've already got 8 estimates. I said, well, you got 24 hours to give me a yes or no. I'm not playing with you fucking no more. You got too much of my time invested. I got no coin for it. And I certainly don't need you as a friend. You're a customer. I don't need more friends. I don't even need him as a customer, in all fairness. So, I don't give a fuck how big your job is, bro. It always works out for me. Remember that episode with Seinfeld where he says everything evens out? You ever seen that one?
It's been a long time since I watched Seinfeld. I probably have and don't remember.
And my life is kind of like that. Things always even out. It's just always been that way.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that what I can make on that is what I'm going to make on 5 other jobs that are much smaller than that.
Mm-hmm.
And combined, they still would be smaller, and they would be quicker and less risky. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I'm waiting to see his answer. And there's another guy that wanted me to get it done in August. He's a past customer. I said, well, I called him on Friday. I said, if I don't know by the middle of next week, then you're already moving into September because other people are holding spots. I said, and it's fine. You want to shop around, go for price. I'm sure you'll find something cheaper, but let me know because I am giving you the 3rd week. But you can't tell me the 3rd week you want the roof because by then it's going to be other people in there. I just don't like being played with.
Yeah.
And this guy too, the guy with the big job, I've done work for him, and just like the last guy, $20,000+ worth of work, and they're happy. They got what they paid for. There's been no issue. So and then when people start heeing and hawing when they come back for more work, like I owe you a discount over the no. I don't know what goes through people's heads, but it's kind of fucked. That's what I mean. They think out of the box, but they always think in the wrong direction.
I was about to say they're just thinking outside the box, Sarge.
Yeah, but the box, they should stay inside this particular box because they know it's safe. They already have the experience. They know they're not going to get hurt, lied to, cheated, or fucked with, right?
Yeah.
And what are you going to save? $1,000, $1,500? You're going to risk the rest of that money to save a small amount of the total? It makes no sense, bro. But like I had said, and if he doesn't tell me and he calls me out, he tries calling me later in the week, I'm going to tell him I'm not interested. I've already committed to my advertiser and to keep my ads running, so that I'm going to fill in that time that I was going to dedicate to you with other new customers I yet to have met. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't blame you.
Yeah. I don't dilly dab around with people. If I say I'm going to be there like tomorrow, I'm going to be there tomorrow between. I can get this particular delivery at a certain time. We'll call it 9 in the morning. I'll be there tomorrow at 8:45.
Unless you eat a fucking T-bone, then you may.
Well, I was going to do that today, and then I changed up and I bought a Burger King hamburger, and it's the fucking worst Burger
Oh,
King hamburger I've ever had. They all taste the same except today's.
yeah.
And I think what happened is whatever their special sauce is, they gave me whatever was in the bottom of the fucking jar. That's what I think I got. Because I scraped all the fucking toppings off it, and the hamburgers tasted exactly as they always do, which, is nothing to brag about. But
yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that whoever made my fucking burger gave me the last fucking drops of their special sauce, and it was fucked up, bro.
Yeah, I prefer not to eat at a damn McDonald's or Burger King or anything like that. I do occasionally. But the only one I'll eat at is a Whataburger, and that's just because the one here is relatively new, so they still strive to do somewhat of a good job. And it's hard to fuck up a chicken sandwich when it's real chicken, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I occasionally get into Kentucky Fried Chicken too. Sometimes I binge on that for a few days. I'll get a bucket of 12 and have dinner for 2 days, 3 days straight, Then I'll make up my own stovetop stuffing or my own potatoes. And yeah. Who the hell knows? So how are we thinking out of the box in today's day and age? I wonder if anybody even knows what the box is. And that you're all trapped in the same fucking bubble and box. Even if you're on different sides of the political spectrum, you're all stuck in a fucking echo chamber of ignorance mostly.
I think people think that thinking outside of the box is thinking in some way that's non-standard, right? Or something that's not typical. But the problem.
You got an example?
Well, I'll just going right into it, right? Somebody jumped out of a plane and landed on the back patio of the Moscow house with a parachute, right? I think a lot of people would consider that thinking outside of the box when it's just fucking lunacy. You know what I mean? But I think people would say that that's thinking outside of the box because it's literally that's where we're at, right? It seems like everything's a competition to see how fucking crazy of a theory we can come up with.
But shouldn't only fucking farts and shit come out of your ass? You shouldn't be pulling fucking thoughts out of there. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. I didn't take biology, folks. I admit I'm not a doctor. Got no degree, no doctorate. I just don't. But is that thinking out of the box or pulling shit out of your ass? I'm not too sure there. Where do you think that fits, Cletus?
Oh, I think that's pulling shit out of your ass, right?
There you go. Yeah.
Thinking out of the box would be taking the facts and trying to use them to fill in the gaps, right? I could see that as long as whatever theory you came up with aligned with all the facts that you have. Okay, maybe. Depending on how fucking out there it is. But most of the time, the simplest solution is the answer.
Yeah. Usually that is the truth. What do they call that? Occam's razor?
Occam's razor.
Right? And usually that is I agree with it 100%. And that's what I really try to do that. But here's what I think. Thinking out of the box is very difficult, folks, to the point that it's almost practically impossible because every conceivable thought that's in your head is there because it was placed there, and or it was formed because of the thoughts that were placed there. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you only know what you know. And here's an example. Here's an exercise of trying to think out of the box. And I try to do it, and it's very difficult. Like we've talked about, trying to move a spacecraft in space without rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Come up with a concept to do that. And you're going to find yourself limited because the only data that you have to draw on is the information that's already available to you.
Right.
Right. Now, how do you break away from that?
I mean, the only way that you can is testing and, theorizing and testing, right? That's literally the only option you have. And I don't, if I were going to try to come up with a propulsion system in space, I'm not going to fucking space to test it. So, I guess I'm fucked. I'm limited to what I know.
Right. Yeah. But like I try to conceive ways where you could use magnetism. And there may in fact be a way to use magnetism, but just be aware what I know about magnetism surrounds the thoughts I'm trying to come up with to apply magnetism to the problem. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though my solution may appear out of the box, it literally is not. Because I'm going to use what the known information that's available to me on magnetism. So it's very difficult to think out of the box in a society where the box has already got predefined edges that are so far out past the fucking your eyesight that thinking out of the box almost becomes impossible.
Well,
Does that seem reasonable?
No, it does. And I think we've gotten to a point where we spend so much time trying to think outside of the box, we forget to pay attention to what's inside the motherfucker.
But there you go. Yeah, no, it's the Van Allen radiation belt, and that's not the firmament. We've already passed through that belt. Holy Christ! There's actually two radiation belts around the planet, and they begin, I think, at 37,000 miles away from Earth.
Who mentioned the firmament, Carl?
Carl did, yeah. He's always there with that crazy flat Earth shit. Listen, I think people that promote flat Earth argue that they're thinking out of the box, but in fact, they're really not thinking out of the box. A lot of like people in the Koberger case thinking out of the box. All this stuff should be discussed. Blah blah blah. But that's not what you're doing. You're creating conspiracy theories and stories that are unverifiable, unprovable, and have no evidence. Well, of course, no evidence to support them other than you're putting them, stringing them together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you want to tie the Banfield boys to this. You want to tie the frat to this or drug dealers. And there's just, you can't do it. And by doing it, that's not an example of thinking out of the box. It's literally doing what the media does to everybody, and it's telling people what to think. And you're filling people's heads with a bunch of nonsense that has no bearing and no reality on the situation you've observed, like with the Trump shooting. All of these water towers and multiple shooters and fucking, I don't even know all the fucking crazy that's come out of this already, but none of that can be supported by actual evidence. The only thing you could support by actual evidence is a dead man on a roof with an AR-15 with 8 spent casings and 8 bullets shot downrange from that position. That you can see. You don't need Bill Nye the Science Guy or fucking Sergeant Friday to tell you that. Just go watch the fucking videos of the crowd, the ones the crowd took, and listen to the 8 shots, right?
Yeah.
And then look at the hydraulic line of the crane that was hit. One of the victims caught 2 bullets. One of them was shot in the head and killed. The other one was shot and wounded. Trump, we know 2 bullets went by, or 3 bullets went at Trump. So get rid of the first 3, now the other 5. And you can account for all 5 of them. 1 man killed, 1 man shot with 2 bullets, and 1 hydraulic line that was hit by a bullet. That's 8 bullets, folks. And that's it. Stop. End of story. Stop. There is no way to think out of the box. That is the box that you're in, because that's the box supported by the facts you can visualize and you can hear and see. So stop. And now you want to look at something completely different. How was this man able to obtain that sniper fucking perch and take these shots at the president? But that's what we should be paying attention to. And every stupid motherfucking dick licking, ass sniffing jerk off out here on the internet telling you about all these different shooters in different positions are nothing more than propagandist bullshit, to the depth of which you'll never even fathom. And they themselves don't even realize, and some of them probably do, that what they're doing is keeping you from looking at what really matters. And the shooter and the shots and where he was is a solved fucking there's no mystery there. The mystery is, why did the Secret Service not attend the meeting that morning at 9 o'clock? Does the Secret Service, when it worked with law enforcement, sync up their fucking radios? Why didn't they, if they in fact do, why didn't they do it here? And if in fact they don't, why don't they do that in light of what just happened here, right? Because the police had eyes on this fucking guy. Also, how is a building with that particular location and proximity to where your protectorate is speaking, how did that building get considered outside the Secret Service zone? So there's so many questions that need to be asked. And in the very least, all the people that set that plan up, the people that did not get the fucking team to that meeting, the people that didn't do what they're supposed to do with drones and communicate, all need to immediately be fucking fired. And warned that what they did might be criminal negligence that cost the life of an American, got 2 severely wounded, and 1 protectorate grazed and almost assassinated. Right? Don't you think that would be fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we should be pushing for that. And instead, people are fucking discussing. It's just crazy. I get flustered because the insanity is so obvious to see, and yet none of you see it. None of you see yourselves participating in this Disney world of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. Really... you don't agree with me just to agree with me, right?
No, I mean, I was sitting here thinking, right? I mean, it's become a situation where thinking outside of the box is immediate fiction, right? Because, you know, I can see situations where thinking outside of the box are essentially it's essentially practical to do. But every way I see it, especially on the internet, it's how to create fiction out of a nonfiction situation.
Right. There you go. That's a great description. You guys are creating all these streamers. They're called creators, but what they're not telling you is they're the first word in the word creators. What should precede that is bullshit. We are bullshit creators. My name is Pavarotti. My name is Swamp Rose. My name is fucking that fucking stupid motherfucker the media made fun of there. Daniel. My name is fucking. I could keep going on and on and on with these people with these fucking things. It's never ending. And the truth is they're bullshit creators. My name is Tommy. My name is fucking bubbly fucking ass bubble. Right? Unbelievable.
Bubbly fucking ass bubble.
And the list goes on and on and on. I mean, this guy Pavarotti comes right out and tells you this is for entertainment purposes. Really? Really? You sick, heartless motherfucker. The murder of 4 young children, more young adults like that, slaughtered by a knife and this whole stream's going to be entertainment purposes. And you're entertained by pointing out somebody at the grub truck did it, someone at the Banfield did it, Brian did it, that one did. That's entertainment. And how many people flock to that guy's channel?
Well, and you know that phrase, right? The entertainment purposes only. You see that on almost every, if not every, true crime channel.
Not mine. I ain't here to entertain your dumbasses.
Well, but you know, just thinking back on it, I can remember when Clue started putting it on hers in the intros, right? And it was one of those things where you see that across the entire genre, and it's like, well, maybe that's something you're supposed to do, right? And then you start thinking about the problems that could come from things that you're talking about, and you're like, okay, I kind of see that, but then it becomes a situation where it's like, well, I mean, if you're not being cautious in the shit that you're saying, if you're not being cautious, then it is entertainment, because at that point it's just complete fiction. Does that make sense?
I guess it does if you're looking in the context of wanting to censor yourself to avoid liability. But this is the United States of America. Okay?
Well, but what I'm getting at, and
Alyssa Milano was in porn and failed. I don't know how a fucking woman can fail in porn, but that's true, right? And I could claim she was in porn whether she was or not, just on my fucking opinion. I don't need to be entered. They don't have to, like, that's what I mean. Most of what these people are doing, they're acting like it means something, like it protects you from something. Look at what Butthole Betty's going through now. There's a line between free speech and fucking problems. And it looks like Butthole Betty, I don't know, maybe her butthole opened up like the Grand Canyon. I really can't say. I don't even want to know.
And the point of me bringing that up was, you know, it's one of those things where if people didn't put that out there, right, didn't put that in front of what they're talking about, they would be more cautious in the bullshit that they're spewing. And at that point, they would be thinking morally, You know what I mean? They would be applying morals and social responsibility to the shit that they're saying instead of just, oh, I said entertainment purposes, I can say whatever the fuck I want,
And
and
that's
it's
what
all
Harsh
good.
and all of these guys are doing, man.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't, it dumbed people down. That's the other thing. You don't realize you're getting an education and stupid. I say this all the time. It takes just as much work and time to be stupid as it does a genius. There is no difference in the time and the fucking attention given.
One's
And
thinking
look
out
at
of the
all
box
these people,
for
man.
one's thinking out of the box for fictional purposes, and the other is thinking out of the box for practical purposes.
Right. I don't even think people are capable. I don't think mankind is capable of thinking out of the box. I just don't. The box is defined, and we all seem to think, and we've been convinced to think that we have this capacity, and we just don't. And the fact is in front of us every single day. Right? These people define what you think and discuss. Look what they're doing with the election with Kamala Harris. I don't give a fuck what nationality this stupid broad was. I don't care. Most people just don't care, but that has to be a topic that we engage in. I won't engage in it. I just don't give a fuck. And then people do all this research to prove one side of the story, and then other people argue against it. Talk about stupid, bro. That's one of the things in the black channels that I like. They point that out all the time. They're like, well, who cares where she was born or who her mommy or daddy is? What is she going to do for the country? There's a lot of people that see the world. That's how we're supposed to view the world, but we're not programmed to do that. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
8 shooters, 3 shooters, water towers, fucking grassy fucking knolls. I don't know, man.
What kind of outside the box thinking do you predict to come from the stock market crisis?
Well, the stock market crisis is always, you're going to have a housing crisis. You're already in the midst of a housing crisis, right?
Yeah.
You know, here's something I never understood. Okay, folks, and this might sound weird to you, but just follow this point. I get paid a lot of money to spend money that I borrow. Okay, I get paid money for that. Could be thousands of dollars a year to spend money that I borrow. Meanwhile, people that borrow money got to pay a ton of interest to borrow the money. And the only difference between them and I is I pay my bill in full at the end of the month. Like today, I think I paid $15,000 to this particular lender, and it's their credit card, right? And they give a percentage of the money back, a 2% a kickback to me. They're literally paying me to spend money that I have to spend anyway, that I would spend with a check or in cash without them. And yet, by using them, they pay me 2% to give. It don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm getting angry with this. It don't make no fucking sense.
Well, it's because you're the
that contributes to people's interest rates. Other people paying interest they're giving me their money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's a marketing incentive or marketing ploy, right? Because you're the exception, not the rule. The rule would be most people will get that card with that incentive and never get to capitalize on that incentive because at the end of the day, they're not going to pay it the fuck off.
No, whether you pay it by the month or not, you still get 2% back. The point that I'm trying to make, folks, is let's say you take this credit card and you only buy groceries with it for a 5% return and you pay it off every month. You're never going to pay them any interest at all. And they're going to be paying you 5% to spend their money. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is most people will get the card and not pay it off every month. So the only 5% they'll see is a 5% reduction, 5% of what they spent reduced from their overall bill. Does that make sense?
Right. No, I understand that, but they're going to be paying 21% interest.
Right.
Right. So what I'm saying is you're taking money from people that are struggling or from people that are getting by or from people that are poor, and you're giving it to guys like me that don't need it. That's how fucked the system is. It shouldn't be that way. And yet there it is. I get enriched, okay, off the backs of everybody else because I have the capacity to pay these things off in full. As a matter of fact, I have not only, here's the fucked up part. I not only have the capacity to pay the bill, but I don't need your money to pay it. By going to you to use your money to get that advantage is what causes your interest rates to go up. Now that I look at what I'm doing, I think it's just fucking, it's wrong. It's morally wrong. Does that make any sense?
It does. But here's the other side of it, right? If everyone would take advantage of that, the advantage would go away. They would cut that shit out. Does that make sense?
Right. And they would offer a much
So
lower
it's kind of the
yes,
same.
yes.
It's kind of the same thing as who's the problem, the streamer or the watcher, right? At the end of the day, one's not going to be a problem without the other. The credit card companies and the credit card users, one's not going to be a problem without the other.
Right.
They wouldn't create a system that where somebody could take advantage of it, like yourself, if there weren't millions of people that didn't. So if everybody that used a credit card followed that same logic, they wouldn't offer that opportunity to anybody.
No, but I think then also their interest rates would be much lower for the people to entice them to try to carry the balance. Yeah. So it would be productive for the end user.
Yeah.
To do what I'm doing, right? And if they did it in mass, then you would see that these credit card companies they'd be losing money. So they would have to then, in order to inspire someone like me, and there's many of us out there, and there could be even more. You folks in the chat room might in fact be able to do that. And if enough of us did that, and they canceled that program, they would want you and me to become an income source for them. And so in order to do that, like when I bought my truck, interest rates were at 3.9. And I told Nissan, if I can't get 1.9, then I'm just going to pay for the whole truck now. I ain't paying 4% interest on the truck because I can make just slightly more than that without any effort. I have a savings account that pays 5.05. And I'm not gonna pay you for. I'm better off just paying the whole fucking thing off and getting rid of the fucking the liability. Fair enough.
That's fair enough.
Give it to me for 1.9, and I still got a headroom of 3 percentage points that I make on that same money. So what I'm not giving you ain't costing me nothing. I'm still making 3% on it. And those are small amounts, but when you're talking tens of thousands of dollars, it adds up.
Well, where I was going with the stock market crisis is we were at her physical therapy appointment today, and the physical therapist was talking about it. I had no fucking idea what was going on, and he was telling us about it because he had heard about it. So I pulled up the phone and I Googled it, right? And the first article that came up said that it was a result of Warren Buffett withdrawing half of his shares of Apple. And I'm sitting here, I literally, that's what the article said. They blamed it on Warren Buffett and his one action. And I'm like, okay, all right, here we go with fucking conspiracy theories. So Warren Buffett's got
Asia. Yeah. It started in the Asian markets over the weekend, just so you know.
Yeah, after I read another article and started, getting some things that sort of made sense, I'm like, okay, yeah. But I'm like, yeah, when I read that, I was like, that will create conspiracy theories right there.
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean. And it's now people get in this box. Like, I'm stuck in the same box as everyone else. But what I try to do is limit what I view or my opinions of what I view and try to limit it to only what I can verify. So there's nothing anybody can say that's going to change my observation of the shooting of Trump with what I saw. Unless you could come forward with some other shooter, some other location and evidence to prove your argument that's undeniable, you can't shake me from what I've seen and what I heard. And nobody's going to come forward with that because I know for a fact that what we all saw and what we all heard is exactly accurate. That kid on that roof shot at the president. There's no way to escape that. Unless you and then you people that think you're thinking out of the box, you're not thinking out of the box. What you're really doing is you're jumping into the fucking realm of insanity. You refuse to accept reality. That's what insanity is, folks. Okay? You cannot live in this reality. You cannot accept this reality. You see things that aren't there, that are not part of this reality. That's insanity. And it's all over the fucking internet. And that's my evidence that's why they closed crazy institutions, because there's just too fucking many of you.
It's hard to house 5.62 billion people unless you give them all a phone and say, "Here, congregate."
When does it end? You know what I mean? Like, to me, I can't stand all these people that want to text and stuff, or people get on Discord and they want to type back and forth. Are you smoking? Go smoke crack. Not even are you? You need to. You got a device that allows you to communicate verbally, and you want to type.
Well, and we were watching this. I don't know. We were watching this some random shit yesterday, but last night we were watching a show where some guy from Arizona, he travels the world, right? And he traveled to Africa and went to this pygmy tribe where the average height's 4 foot, right? And he goes out there, and they don't have access to technology at all, right? They've got fucking antifreeze jugs they're playing drums with and shit, and they're just dancing. Like he pulls up and they're all dancing and they're all happy as fuck. They're eating out of these metal pans and eating with their hands, and 3 or 4 of them dipping into the bowl and eating, and they're all just happy as fuck, and they dance. He kept talking about that. He's like, they have been dancing for like 8 hours straight, and he's like, the only time they stop is to eat or go to the bathroom, and then they keep fucking dancing. Right. And he was like, they're the happiest fucking people I have ever met in my life.
They've been doing that for thousands of years.
Right. And they have absolutely no technological advancements that we would consider advanced at all, right? They just fucking dance all day and they're happy as shit and their life is good. And I'm like, yeah, tell me technology makes life better. Bullshit.
Well, listen, it would make life better. Unfortunately, I don't know where the breakdown happened, but here, the only breakaway from humanity's fucking chaos was the formation of America. That's the only known successful breakaway from all of it, and yet somehow we've allowed ourselves to be infected with it. So we're no different. We're really no different than any other country in that we sit here and we argue and call each other names and ridicule one another as far as our race and you got these kids that are taught that America's bad. We need a new country, and all the solutions were put in front of us hundreds of years ago, 240 years ago, and those solutions were to be worked towards. They were to be obtained, and I don't know why people aren't being taught that, or at least there isn't millions of people reminding everybody your Constitution is not enforced. You don't live by the Constitution. You try to live up to it and make it a reality, and part of that reality. When they wrote it was look at what we were doing with slavery. I mean, so my point is that like the Second Amendment's written in stone. No, this country is still an experiment. I know it's written in the document, but you've lived through how many years, Cletus, of the government infringing upon that right?
Yeah.
Right. So listen, do you have the full Second Amendment enforced and you live by that Second Amendment 100%? Nope, never have. We, the people, are supposed to make it real, make it happen. Your right to privacy. We're supposed to make that happen. Like, I'm offended by all these cop shows, and I don't care if they're for entertainment or not, but there isn't one that I've seen where the cops haven't committed a crime to find the guilty party and act like that's okay because, they got the right guy. And that's prevalent all over the world, but that's not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be speeding down your highways or your roads and then going to get coffee or going to meet their girlfriend or getting back to the barracks or whatever they're doing. If it isn't related to a crime, then the speed limit is 35. They shouldn't go 36. And we don't hold them to that standard. It's just amazing. Go ahead.
We watched a body cam footage of somebody shoplifting earlier, and they were shoplifting, but the cop took them. The cop put the handcuffs on them and walked them probably 400 feet outside of a mall before they told them they were under arrest. And the whole time, the lady is yelling at him, why are you pushing me? Get these handcuffs off of me. And technically, he violated her rights because he didn't read her Miranda rights. He didn't tell her she was under arrest. It's the same shit Clue took in once upon a time for, way back in the day. And I was like, yeah, that's fucked up.
He can detain and escort you out of somewhere without arresting you.
But you've got to tell them. He just took her, grabbed her by the hand, put handcuffs on her, and proceeded to push her out of the mall. Didn't tell her she was being detained, didn't tell her anything.
All right.
So technically, he committed a crime in that moment. You know what I mean?
So is this woman suing?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a fine line too, because you know there's also a reason not to do that if the public safety could be at risk. So there may be a reason to escort somebody away, and it's not a crime. It's not even a violation of your constitutional rights. If ultimately he says, he gets you to a distance away that he considers safe, and then tells you, that's not a crime, Cletus. He's not violating your civil rights. He's there to protect society, not just you. It's not just your rights that he has to protect. It's also the people that could be impacted by a decision he makes. And that would justify a policeman. And that simple statement in court would justify him walking you away without a word.
Yeah.
Okay. You were alerted you were under arrest the minute you put the cuffs on you, or at least you were in trouble. Fair enough. And he escorts you away from where there's a crowd of people. And then discuss it with you. I don't see him committing. That's not a violation of your rights. Now, if he escorts you away and propositions you or uncuffs you and tells you get the fuck out of here, then you got issues here. He had no right to put his hands on you. But if he did it for a reason of a crime, right? She was shoplifting and he had evidence of that. I don't think anything he did in that situation you could consider violating anybody's rights. I think that if she sued him, I could win the case in court for him just based on that explanation. You do have a right to know, but when and where is also as important as you having that right to know. Fair enough.
It's an arguable point, I think, right? I mean,
it's a fair point, isn't it?
It is a fair point, but I think there is, to me, if you were going to put handcuffs on me, you would need to tell me why, or we would have a problem. And I would be within my.
I'm escorting you out of the building. You're in handcuffs, so why is going to be. We're going to share it with you, Cletus, but I'm just going to get you out of the. You look like fucking Bigfoot. You're coming with me. Okay. No, I honestly don't think that this policeman could be held accountable for any wrongdoing in that situation. And especially if you were in the commission of a crime inside of a store with other shoppers. Okay.
I don't disagree with fundamentally at the end of the day, you were shoplifting, he put you in handcuffs, shut the fuck up, take your punishment, right? But there are situations where that will happen and there is no crime that was committed, right? And it's just one of those gray areas for me where I'm like, at the end of the day, the least you could do is say you're under arrest or I'm detaining you instead of just throwing handcuffs on somebody. But, maybe it was a bad example.
No, listen, I think I don't take it as just look at it for him doing his job. And if you look at it from his responsibilities of doing the job, it's understandable. If what he's doing doesn't comport with a specific honest reason to remove you from that location, then you have a case. But in this situation, you said that there was no doubt this person was shoplifting, right?
Well, no, I said this person was shoplifting. At that moment, I don't recall if he had the proof or not.
But the person, how do you know they were shoplifting?
Because when he got them outside, one of his partners came out and I guess had the evidence of it.
Okay, so they were probably talking on radios we weren't aware of.
They may have been, yeah.
Right, yeah. So let it play out. Yeah, I mean, it could go either way, but I suspect that this person was committing a crime and the cop escorted you out and waited to get you outside away from other shoppers to tell you why he pulled you out of the building. I don't think that's a problem, to be honest with you. She knew what she was doing wrong anyway. What the fuck playing these fuck? Who would you give? You know what I mean? Surprise, bitch.
She was, but I know up to the point when they presented her with what they had, I was just like, I mean, did she? Because she was very convincing that she hadn't done shit.
Well, all of us, look at that. That woman should have a YouTube channel next to AR Hayes. I am a fucking convict. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I shoplifted fucking tampons from Walmart. Fucking unbelievable. Oh, how do I connect those dots, please?
I don't know. But what we can say for sure is he was an unsuccessful getaway driver.
He definitely wasn't. He never got away. He got fucking stopped every time and violated on his probation. So if he was doing house invasions, well, it was the car invasions that got him. Unlicensed, uninsured, unregistered, a broken taillight, going the wrong way down a one-way street. There's a fucking genius. Yeah, I want. Holy fuck, bro. What do I know? I don't know much. I'm a straight A fucking student with a PhD and a fucking doctorate and fucking never committed a crime in my life.
Well, there you go. There you go, Sarge.
Right. I did not live that life, but hey, who the fuck? I can tell you whatever I want, right? Fucking believable.
That's what the internet's here for. I can tell you whatever the fuck I want.
It's fucking unbelievable. Listen, here's another part of my story that's rather fucking funny. So I did a long-term inpatient program, supposed to be a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was out in 10 months, 9 to 10 and a half. I'll say 10 months is fair. Say 10 months, right?
Yeah.
But by the time that they were discharging me, for at least 45 to 60 days prior to that, my turnaround in what I had done to get off of drugs and the way I conducted myself put me in a position to be an assistant to the executive director. Unpaid, but I was the resident assistant to the executive director. And even the counselors, and some of them didn't fucking like me at all. I blew a pair in for having sex with patients. I didn't give a fuck. You're not here to fuck us. You're here to fix us. Okay? Fucking this ain't fixing us. Guess what, bro?
Yeah.
Knock, 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 executive director. This is what I caught last night. Anyway, and so I became the assistant to the executive director before I left. And they wanted to pay for my schooling and get me involved to be a counselor. And I was like, You saved me from that crazy motherfucker that I was, hanging around all of them crazy motherfuckers that always will be. And I ain't going to come back and try to help nobody. I'm out of here, bro. I don't want to be surrounded by addicts the rest of my fucking life. Hell no. That's what I was trying to get away from. Not just them, but me. That's why I'm always suspicious. Like I refused. When I went to rehab, folks, I refused any counselor that had a substance abuse or an addiction problem. If you had one of them, you could not be my counselor. I wanted somebody that was fucking came into the world, was taught the right things to do, made the right fucking choices, did the right thing even under peer pressure, got their fucking degrees, became who they became, and now can offer me advice to do exactly what the fuck they did. That's what I wanted to know. Okay? Because I didn't come into the world that way. Right? When I was 11 years old, I got a carton of cigarettes for Christmas. I like them fucking apples. So my point was that I knew enough to know that I don't need to relate to your ass, because relating to the people that were addicts were why I was in the fucking boat I was in. I needed to find out how to relate to people that didn't have any of them fucking problems. And I needed to learn how to become one of them fucking people. Right?
Yeah.
So why would I want to sit in rooms or get a job to surround myself? Because, you could help people. Look, motherfucker, you can't help nobody. People can only help themselves, okay? They teach you that right in the beginning. So what do you mean I'm going to help somebody? It's a contradiction. I say the best thing you could do with an addict is chop off all their fucking way of making money and living and feeding and let them go. Do not enable them at all. That means crossing the street and avoiding them while they're out there. And they're in the middle of their addiction. There ain't nothing you're going to do to fix that person. And anything you do, they're going to use to continue their addiction. So the best thing anybody can do is to just chop all ties with them completely. They'll come back around if they straighten their life out. And they'll ask for forgiveness, and if they're doing the right, they'll do the right thing if that's what they want. But you don't need no therapist. You just need these people to find a bottom.
Based on my limited exposure to people and related to that subject, anybody that I've known that has overcome has said pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, you need to find a bottom.
Anybody that I've known that was unable to overcome, that was the reason. Enabling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And everybody's a victim.
Yep.
Everybody's a victim. My daddy fucking beat me. This one molested me. And look, I tell all those stories and name all the names. And That all happened to me, but that's not the reason that I was an addict. That was the excuse. Poor me. Used to be pour me another drink. Now it's pour me another line. Fill me another fucking glass dick with crack. All right,
Pour
we're 10
you
o'clock.
all by
No.
yourself.
What's that? Yeah, I knew he was going to jump down. I was going to try to tell him there was going to be no booting, no jumping. And yet, I don't know what it is, but I have the infinite power to make people childish, and it's fucking awesome. Oh my God. It's absolutely awesome. So that's it, folks, for the show. Thinking out of the box, it's not possible, folks. Thinking out of the box would require a process of thinking that would include information you've never ever, and doesn't connect to anything you already know, for the most part. In some cases, I imagine some of the things that you already know might lead you to a way to think out of the box, but thinking out of the box is a very, very profound thing to say, and it's a very, very difficult thing to say, especially if you're conscious enough to realize that all your thinking is in that box, and you've been trained to think inside that box. These people with all these conspiracy theories about the Idaho 4 and about the Trump shooting are in no way, shape, or form thinking out of the box. They're not. What they're doing is insane. So anyway, I appreciate you coming in. And Frank, I seen you in here, Frank. Elephant Man Franklin. Frank Elefante is his name. And I'm glad you came in. I hope your baseball games went well. And yeah. And that'll do it for tonight. We'll wrap it up. Your Ass Heritage News Network, your host, Sergeant Friday. Everybody be good, have fun, stay out of trouble. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 9.